Now in this video, what we're doing, we've actually been buying up different scroll saw blades and trialing them and sharing with all of you our thoughts on them. So we're focusing on Pegas blades. As you can see, we bought quite a few different types of blade to try out. We work in hardwood, so you can see we've selected some oak. I've selected a piece of wood that is going to be challenging for the scroll saw blades, and I'm marking out a heart-shaped keyring, and also then we will be cutting out an internal heart. So we're doing pierce work as well as cutting out the surround. That's going to be the test for each of the blades, and then we're going to find out what is the best blade, what is suitable for that. So to start us off, just to give us a control, we're going to use the number 9 standard tooth Hegner blade. So that's the first one up on our list. And our findings for this one, we found that it is a steady feed speed, as we were expecting. And then when it comes to the finishing, we found that there was a decent amount of finishing required, especially on the bottom edge. Pretty much as we were expecting. It cuts, it does the job, but it's not the best blade. Next up, we've got one of our all-time favourites, and that's the Nicor Speed number 9 reverse tooth blade. So we were pretty confident that we knew what the result's going to be. It's our regular blade that we usually use for 20 years or so. And as you can see, it does a good job. It's quick in terms of the cuts, it's precise, it's accurate, and it has minimal amount of finishing required both on the top edge and the bottom edge. Onto our second blade, and that is the Nicor Fix reverse tooth blade. We bought this thinking it would be a replacement for the Nicor Speed reverse tooth blade. As you can see, the results were dreadful. Burning on the wood. Just wasn't suitable for the job we were doing, so we didn't use that blade. So on to our Pegas blades. That's the focus for this video, and the first one we're working with is the Super Skip number 7. Now with this blade, we found that it was a decent feed speed, probably not quite as fast as the Nicor Speed. It was a great finish, both top and bottom edge, and it was quite close to the Nicor in terms of the overall quality. So for ourselves, that proved to be a really decent blade. Is it as good as the Nicor Speed number 9 reverse tooth blade? For ourselves, probably not. However, it is a very decent blade. On to the next one then, and this was a reverse skip number 9. This one is a fast feed speed, and it does give you a quality finish that is on a par with the Nicor Speeds. Again, would I choose to use this one in preference of our Nicor Speed? The answer to that would be no. But it is certainly a very decent blade, and it provided some really good results, and for ourselves in the UK, it's probably easier to get hold of this Pegas blades. On to our next blade, and that is the Pegas Skip number 8. And with this blade, we found that it was a very good feed speed. It was a good finish. It did require more work, both on the top and bottom edges, and in terms of the feed speed, it certainly didn't come up to the same standard as some of the other blades. Decent blades, could be useful for some, but for ourselves, this would come sort of somewhere in the middle of the roads. Something that we did find with the Pegas blades, they were all pretty good blades across the whole spectrum of blades available. On to then the next one, and as you can see, it's the Pegas Modified Geometry. We found with this one that it was a fast feed speed. It's a number 7 blade, and it did provide a quality finish. In terms of, at the end, I've actually ranked some of these blades, and this one actually came in our top 3. So for anyone who is working in hardwood like ourselves, this is certainly a blade that is worth considering. The next one on our list, and that is the Pegas Super Skip number 9. So this was a fast and strong cutting blade. It provided a good finish, but it definitely had more finishing work required when it comes to the bottom edge. May I ask, why is it that we're referring specifically to the bottom edge? Well, of course, any of the reverse tooth blades, by their very design, because we have those teeth in the opposite direction, they tend to provide a cleaner, finer cut on the bottom edge. Now then, we're on to our double skip reverse tooth blade. This was a number 7, and initially I had quite high hopes for this blade. When I came to work with it then, it didn't really pan out. I found that it was a slow feed speed, somewhat frustrating. Not as bad as that Nicor fix, because that was basically unusable, but there was more work in terms of the finishing, and this blade just proved to be somewhat unsuitable for what we were doing. So it shows that your preconceived ideas, sometimes the reality doesn't add up to what your expectations are. The final blade then is a new blade from Pegas, and one that's been designed specifically for working in hardwood. It's the Pegas hook blade, and it was the number 11. Simple reason for that, that was the lowest number they had available. We found that this was actually the fastest feed speed. It was a good finish. Not on a par with some of the others, but certainly very acceptable. It is debatable then for some people whether that finish would be good enough. And the only issue I would have really stated with this one is that when it came to tight turns, because of the extra thickness of the blade, it could prove somewhat difficult. Now, one thing highlighted at the end here that I was having an issue with, I don't know what they do in terms of a finish on the Pegas blades, but I had an issue where they were actually slipping in the holder. This was rectified by sanding the blade before using it. Summing up then, the worst blade that we worked with, unfortunately, that was the Nicor fix. That has proved to be a pretty poor investment. None of those blades are going to be any use to us. The double skip reverse, again, that disappointed somewhat, didn't do a great job, but it is usable. The modified geometry, that then is in our top 3, as with the Nicor Speed number 9 reverse tooth. And the final one for a special mention is the Pegas hook. That I think will be useful for any of you who are doing any thicker woodworking projects. So there you go. That is just an insight into some of the different blades specifically available from Pegas. Let us know any thoughts, any questions you might have about those blades. As always, if that's useful, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you know when we upload another video. As we always say, thank you again for watching.